Hello, and welcome to Fragments of Stillness. It's a joy to have you here for another moment of pause, silence, and reflection. If you appreciate deep insights, stories that stir thought, and a calm space to see life from different angles, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. New videos are posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. This space is made for those who seek meaning amidst the noise of everyday life. Today, I invite you to reflect on a subtle yet powerful idea: how the relationships we live through reveal us to ourselves. We often think of self-knowledge as a solitary journey, walked in silence and isolation. And indeed, there are moments when inner stillness is essential. But there's another kind of wisdom that only emerges in contact with the other. The other acts as a mirror, reflecting parts of us we cannot see alone. Sometimes, this mirror shows a light we've denied in ourselves, a potential we've forgotten. Other times, it reflects a shadow, a fear, a wound, a pattern we'd rather ignore. It's in encounters, in friction, in affection and aversion, that the hidden layers of our identity are revealed. Why do certain people bother us so deeply? Why do others awaken in us a nearly irrational admiration? And most intriguingly, why do we often repeat the same patterns in relationships, even when we know they hurt us? Perhaps the answer doesn't lie in the other, but in what the other reflects back about who we are, what we haven't healed, and what still needs to grow. In today's reflection, we'll explore this theme through a fable, and dive deep into the understanding that our relationships are mirrors. Mirrors we often avoid, but that carry the potential for real transformation. Once upon a time, a wanderer was walking through a dense forest in search of ancient wisdom. He had heard of a wise old monk who had lived in solitude for decades, known for revealing deep truths to those who dared to find him. After many days, the wanderer came upon the monk's small cabin. He knocked respectfully and was met with silence. The monk simply pointed inside. There was only one thing in the room: a large, dusty, slightly cracked mirror. Disappointed, the wanderer said, "I came all this way to hear your words, and all I find is an old mirror." The monk replied, "This mirror will tell you more than I ever could, but don't look at it alone. Come back tomorrow with someone who deeply irritates you, then look again." Puzzled, the wanderer returned to the village, and with effort, convinced an old rival to accompany him. The next day, they stood in front of the mirror. But something strange happened. The mirror didn't reflect only their physical forms. It showed emotions, memories, wounds, past reactions. The wanderer saw his own intolerance written on the face of the other, and the rival saw his arrogance mirrored in the wanderer's eyes. Both were moved to silence. Then the monk said, "The other has always been your mirror, but you only see it when you stop trying to win and begin trying to understand." The fable touches on one of the most challenging principles of the inner journey: projection. According to Carl Jung, what we fail to recognize in ourselves is projected onto others. In other words, everything we deny, repress, or avoid in our inner world is eventually seen, sometimes intensely, in the behavior of those around us. That's why we often say things like, "That person drives me crazy. I can't stand this kind of behavior. That trait is unbearable." But the question we rarely ask is, why is this reaction surfacing in me? What within me is being triggered by what I see in the other? Yes, the other may act poorly, but our reaction is our own, and it contains important clues about unresolved parts of our own story. For example, if someone's selfishness bothers you deeply, is it because you were taught to suppress your needs? If another's freedom makes you uneasy, could it be that you live trapped by your own self-imposed rules? If someone's vulnerability irritates you, is it because you haven't yet allowed yourself to be vulnerable? Relationships act as emotional mirrors. They reveal the beautiful and the broken within us. The problem is that when we fail to see this, we fall into the trap of blaming the other for what we feel. We expect them to change, to fix themselves, to understand us, without realizing that the deepest transformation is always internal. Emotional maturity begins when we stop expecting the mirror to reflect an ideal and start cleaning the glass to see our true reflection more clearly. This process can be uncomfortable, but it is deeply freeing. Because once we recognize in the other what actually belongs to us, we regain our freedom to choose. We can change. We can heal. We can grow. Think about the people who challenge you the most. A demanding boss, a partner who doesn't listen, a friend who constantly triggers your emotions. Are these people perhaps revealing what still needs healing in you? Maybe you're facing someone who exposes your fear of rejection, or your difficulty in setting boundaries, or your longing to be seen and appreciated. The hard truth is that relationships are mirrors, and sometimes the reflection is uncomfortable. But the good news is, mirrors can heal. All it takes is the courage to look beyond the surface. When we do that, something profound shifts. We begin to take responsibility for our own reactions. We stop waiting for others to change, and start changing how we show up in the world. The other remains a mirror, but now, we choose what to do with the reflection. If today's reflection resonated with you, leave a comment and share your thoughts. Who has been a mirror in your life recently? And what have these encounters revealed about you? Subscribe to Fragments of Stillness and join us for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Until our next meeting, may you find the serenity to face the reflections and the courage to transform through them.